Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to review a movie that I've actually had in my watch later thing on YouTube since like late November, early December, and it is a TV movie, and I thought that the title made it sound like it would be really good. It's called Through the Eyes of a Killer. Now, the title is very deceiving, because when you hear that title, you think that's going to be through the killer's perspective, obviously, because, it's called Through the Eyes of a Killer. That's what the movie should be, right? Well, no. The movie is through the eyes of the main character, who is a middle-aged woman, and she's fine, I guess. She's not exactly the greatest in terms of acting, and also in terms of looks. She's kind of like, she's a typical, I think it has a lot to do with, how they make her look, too, because her hair and wardrobe and makeup and everything, she kind of looks average. But then again, this movie is kind of like a low-budget TV movie, so, I guess you can't really blame them. But anyways, this character, you start off the movie, and she is with one of the guys from the Goonies. She's with the bad, one of the Fratelli brothers, the shorter one, and apparently he cheated on her, and she has a problem with him because he's her boss. So they go to work together, and he's still trying to get after her even though she broke up with him. And it seems like she has a problem with dating the wrong guys. She's one of those types. And then comes along this Carpenter, and he is played by the guy who played MacGyver. And that would bring up another point, which is I have never seen MacGyver ever. So this was my first movie or anything with MacGyver himself. And at first I thought, who the hell is this guy? Because his character is obviously the bad guy. From the very beginning of seeing his character, he has this vibe to him. They play this music underneath him when he comes in, and he has this look on his face like he's up to no good. He kind of looks like Robert De Niro's character from Cape Fear. He's literally, he already looks like that. You don't even need to, there's no mystery in who the bad guy is. And so basically the story here is it's all about this woman. She's got problems with guys. She doesn't know how to pick the right ones. She lets her best friend swipe on Tinder for her. She doesn't make any of her own decisions. So she ends up with all these bad guys, and then she wants to move out of the apartment with the Fratelli brother. And where does she move after that? Well, she wants to move and live in a literal shithole. And I'm not kidding you guys. This place, it is a literal shithole. She says it needs a lot of fixing up, and I was like, yeah, a shithole like this would need a lot of help fixing up. And who's there to help her but the main bad guy, the Carpenter guy? And she brings him over, and he fixes up her place, and she's really, really rich too. She borrows a lot of money from her father too to fix up this apartment, because it is so bad, this shithole that she wants to live in, that it looks like a dump. It looks like an abandoned building that gang members go in there and they use used needles on themselves and shit. It looks terrible. It looks like just shit everywhere. There's shit all over the walls. There's shit all over MacGyver. after he's done cleaning. Yes, that is an actual thing that happens in this. MacGyver is fixing up her bathroom, and he's fixing up the pipes and everything, and there's literal shit all over him because this place is such a shithole. And so that is the main plot of this movie. It is all about this shithole that she wants to live in, and this guy who's there to help her, and then he helps her in other ways too, like this, blah, 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 blah. He helps her that way too, eventually. And we'll get to that, though. So, I wrote a lot of notes for this movie, because I wasn't even going to review this movie, but it was so bad that it was good, so I have to do a review, because there's so many things to talk about that are hilarious, like him having shit all over him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to have to smell like this when I go home." And she's like, "No, don't worry, you can clean yourself off." And he's like, "No, I don't want to, I'll just go home, I'm MacGyver, I can do what I want. I can walk home with literal shit all over myself, I'm MacGyver." And so, the bad guy, though, and see, I knew he was the bad guy from the very beginning, so I indicated bad guy as him in the notes. That's how bad it was. So they're in the kitchen together, and he's like, "There's got to be a pantry around here somewhere." And she's like, "No, there really isn't. There is no pantry in this apartment." And he just literally walks up to this obvious space in the wall where you can clearly see that, like, there's something that's there that you can press or open, and there's a pantry in there. And what do you know? He opens it up, and I thought that was queer because, like, you could clearly see it. So the fact that she was pretending like she didn't see it was really dumb. And, like, the realtor, she didn't show her the pantry or anything. Like, that was, like, obvious that, like, they're trying to do a lot of foreshadowing. So, they were trying to, like, do sneaky little ways with that, and it just didn't work on me. And then they go out to dinner together. And by the way, this bad guy, he looks like a cross between Sam Witwer and Patrick Swayze. So I'm going to call him Patrick Swayze. And oh shit. Literally just as I was saying that, my mouse ran out of battery. So, oh shit. I'm going to have to, what do I do? Oh, shit. What do I do? I need the charger cord. And shit. I'm talking about a movie with a woman who wants to live in a shithole apartment, and that you have this shit happen. Shit. Well, shit. Oh, I'm just gonna finish what I was saying and then stop this. And you guys won't even notice that I stopped it, though. That's the funny thing. I'm noticing, because this fucking mouse battery emptied shit. And it warned me this morning. It said very low battery. And I said, shit, I don't fucking care. And then this is what happens. Shit. Computer can't even play Amazon Prime. Can't even play Tubi. Can't even play Roblox. But it can suck all the fucking shit battery out of my shit mouse. That's the shit. So, they go out to dinner together. And he's talking about his backstory on how he became a carpenter. And his backstory is like, well, when I was a kid, you see, I would build up all these structures. And they kept on falling down. And then I started using real bricks to build these structures. And then those structures would stay up. And that's how I became a carpenter, man. That's the type of character he is. And I don't know, some people in the comments said that he was a great actor. And I would really like to believe that. It's just that maybe, I don't know what it is, like if it's the script or something, but the way that he just acted like a guy who was so weird that it's hard to believe that a woman would go out with him. Like, even though he looks like MacGyver, he's kind of like that stereotype of, like, when a woman says, like, when a woman wants like her husband or something to dress up as like a dirty carpenter, that's what he kind of looks like. So on the looks department, he's definitely probably like a 10 out of 10 to a woman. But in the personality department, the way that he's acting in this movie, even like, it's just really hard to believe that like, and because she is like a corporate woman too. She's like always dressed up in like these professional outfits, and she's so like clean and professional, and he's just this dirty, rugged carpenter guy. And it almost feels like a romance movie, like a romance novel, like those books where you have on the cover the guy with the long hair and his shirt off, and you have the woman and she's being taken advantage of by him. That's what the vibe that I got from this movie. I didn't get the suspense thriller vibe until a little bit later. So anyways, I gotta charge the mouse. And an hour later, I am back. You guys wouldn't know that, except now you do. And the main girl goes home with the main guy and the bad guy. And the first thing that she sees in his house should have been like a huge red flag. It was a big red flag to me. And that was, she saw that he had this intricate dollhouse display that he was working on. And it was just really creepy and weird and just kind of hilarious how this big, strong MacGyver guy, you go to his house and he has this dollhouse display with all these different rooms and all the dolls and accessories, and they're wearing all the clothes. It's really weird. And there's a jump scare in this movie when she is scared by the guy's cat, and it is actually a scary scare. I was a little bit scared there. And he is fixing the dollhouse because she knocked some of the stuff over, and downstairs she tells him, and keep in mind, she's watching him work on his dollhouse and fix it instead of leaving and getting the hell out of there. And she's watching him and she says, "I never expected a guy like you, a guy with your hands, are you gay?" Like, that's the... And he's like, "No, of course not. You just remind me of my dead wife, and so, I just, And so, they eventually, they do get together in a very odd way that we will go into as soon as we mention the fact that one of the reasons why, or I guess the main reason why this movie is called Through the Killer's Eyes, is because it has to do with a literal eye. There is a window in the shithole apartment, and it is literally an Illuminati eye. It's like a big Illuminati window, and they keep on showing that over and over again in the movie. And it was pretty hilarious because, like, I never thought throughout the movie that the eye would have anything to do with what's going on. I just thought it was like a weird thing of like, ooh, wouldn't it be interesting if this apartment had like this Illuminati eye window? Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. Because she wasn't completely sold on moving into this shithole until the realtor showed her the Illuminati eye. As soon as she showed her that, she was like in love with the apartment. It's really weird. So one night she comes home and he's supposed to be working on the apartment, and now this is where it gets really weird. MacGyver jumps out from somewhere. He literally leaps out of the darkness and tackles her to the ground, and he holds her down until she gets into it with him, and she like gets turned on, and they have sex together. And it's like this sequence was like out of a romance movie. It was like, I mean, he was acting like an animal. He was going like, he was like tearing up her clothes and shit. It was really, really creepy, but at the same time kind of weird because like they had another sex scene or two as well, and they were really, really like steamy, explicit sex scenes, and I was really shocked that this TV movie has these explicit sex scenes, and these these really, really like hardcore scenes in comparison to these modern movies. Like, those crappy scenes where they use intimacy coordinators and they look terrible. They look nothing like these good old-fashioned sex scenes. And especially the ones in this movie, they were very, very impressive. I mean, there's a clear quality difference between these types of sex scenes and then the fake ones that they do nowadays, where they look so fake and phony, and they're not convincing at all, and they look stupid. And like the 50 Shades of Grey movie, like this movie had some real 50 Shades of Grey shit. Like, I was like really impressed. This is a TV movie from the 90s. I thought that TV movies were like censored and they couldn't show anything or anything. It's like TV movies are actually like top tier movies. Now, after they're in a relationship, you know what's going to happen. He's going to do something bad, and she's going to be like, oh no, you're just another one of those bad guys that I just conveniently always end up with, and oh no. Well, something happens that's really, really bad, and it doesn't even get reported to the police or anything. It's like, it's really, really bad. Her friend visits her shithole apartment, and when she's in the shithole, the MacGyver, he rapes her because he says like he doesn't know what came over him, or he says something like, I couldn't tell the difference. Like, it was really weird. Like, she just randomly was like he did the same treatment that like he gave to the main girl, where she came home and then he jumped out and tackled her and everything. Well, he did the same thing to this girl's friend. And, that's rape. And the girl was just like, her friend was like, I don't know what happened, it just happened. And, he. And he was like, I don't know what came over me. I don't know what happened. And so she really wants to fire him and break up with him. She does break up with him, but she is not able to fire him because he is like stuck in a contract with the father or something, and he's paying him. He's already paid him. I can't remember the exact excuse. And she goes home to him and with another guy to make sure that like he doesn't attack her. And this whole situation is just ridiculous. He should have been arrested for raping her friend. They don't even get into that. They never bring it up again. It's like, oh, shit happens. If you go into a shithole, you might get raped. That's just the hazards. That's the hazards of going into a New York shithole. You might get brutally raped by MacGyver. So he has already like fixed up her apartment completely, and this part really raised a red flag because remember that pantry that he opened up? Well, he sealed it, quote unquote. He sealed the pantry. He did something funny there, and his excuse is, with this much space, you don't even need a pantry. And it's like, oh no, I think that she should dictate that, not him. Like, he's just a carpenter. It's her apartment. It's her decision. So, and she just drops it too. She just doesn't even care. And then I thought it was really funny because remember the Jennifer Jones movie I watched last year called Carrie? Well, I just can't escape Carrie because this movie's main character, she is like doing something, I can't remember, she's doing like a chore, and she's watching Carrie in the background. And I thought that was funny. Like, she was watching, they showed like a whole minute of the movie, and it was totally like unexpected that like I just so happened to pick the movie where they play that Carrie movie in, because it's really not a popular movie or anything. No one ever talks about it at all. And then there's this whole really creepy sequence that happens where she's there in her apartment with her friend again, and she leaves her friend alone so that she can go out and get food, because she ruined the food in the oven. She really fucked it up, and she burned it or something. And while she's gone, her friend actually disappears, and we do not see what happens to her. It's really, really creepy. Like, even though it's very obvious that the bad guy, he got in there somehow and he killed her. And by the way, too, they're trying to have this red herring plot about the Fratelli brother possibly being the bad guy. It was very obvious that he was not the main bad guy. Very, very obvious. After she investigates her disappearance, she takes a shower, and she keeps on dropping the soap. She drops it like 10 times, and finally she's just like, I don't know. She had soap in her eyes, and she reaches her hand out of the shower to grab her towel, and this was a really creepy moment where all of a sudden this bloody hand grabs her arm, and then it goes away, and it doesn't come back. And it was so creepy. I was like, what the hell? And that was her friend grabbing her for help. That was very, very creepy. And she couldn't see, of course, because she had the soap in her eye. And when she's talking about this happening with the cops, one of the cops, when he leaves, and I don't know if this was planned, because it was very, like, goofy and unnatural. And unnatural. Like, it didn't seem like they said, like, oh, you go grab food before you leave. But he grabbed food off of her counter and then ate it before he left the apartment. And, like, either the actor was really hungry, or he just wanted to be the character a little bit more, or, like, I don't know, like, what he was thinking, though, because, like, I don't know, it was just a really weird thing for a cop to do. He doesn't even ask her or anything. And it is revealed, because there's a couple of twists, it's revealed that her shithole used to be a building where a guy stalked and killed 13 women. So it's all the building's fault, apparently, that people go in there and they get killed. You just... Some things are just meant to happen in these certain buildings, and, it's all the building's fault. And there's also this nice guy in the movie, too. He's like a very stereotypical nice guy character, where you have, like, the main girl, you have the bad guy, and then you have the nice guy. And I at least appreciate that she was interested in him, because if you guys remember that what was that movie called with that Rutger Hauer, that Split Midnight or Past Midnight, where in that movie she like friend zoned the nice guy the whole movie, and then he gets killed, and that was terrible and awful, and then at the end it's proven that the bad guy wasn't actually bad, and it's just like, ugh. But in this movie, she gets with the nice guy, and his character's kind of boring though. But he goes to Marnie, and that is where Tippi Hedren Marnie, she has a little cameo in this movie. And it was nice seeing her, in one of the few movies that she's done besides the good ones that she did with Hitchcock. And that's where she finds the plan, where he finds the plans for the building, because apparently the shithole girl, the girl who has a shithole, she she never had access to the apartment blueprints, the original plans for the apartment. Marnie has them, and she lends them to the nice guy. And this is where the twist is revealed. The real twist. The twist is that MacGyver has been living inside of her apartment walls. Like, this is the Black Christmas remake. He is living inside her apartment with her, watching her 24/7. He has constructed his own pathways, just like Billy in Black Christmas. He even has all these traps that he set up. There's like these guillotine-style doors that he can close and trap you in, like it's fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre with that metal door. There's tons of those around the apartment because he added them all. And wow. And they have this little chase, this little back and forth and fight, and it's a little predictable, you know. The nice guy gets the police, and she has to fight the main bad guy herself. But it's really, really well done. You know, like, for all the jokes that I've been making about the movie, it's a very well done, like, suspense thriller, especially in the second half. You know, there's a lot of good camera work, the music is pretty good, and there's a lot of good creepy moments, creepy atmosphere, because it's a very creepy scenario. You know, I just think it's a little ruined by the main villain, because he comes off more as like a romance novel character, and he's so obviously the bad guy, and I don't know. Should have been Richard Thomas again. You know, just put Richard Thomas in everything. Let MacGyver be MacGyver. And we don't even know his motive too. Like, I mean, he was already a bad guy, apparently. He beat on his wife, who I guess she died. He beat on her, and he was charged for it. So he's got a history. And so that's also, you know, if they had gone to the police with her friend being raped, then he would have been locked up, especially since he had a history of domestic violence. So that's another thing to kind of take into consideration. But in the end, she uses one of the trapdoors to try to cut him in half while she is seducing him and trying to distract him. But then, this is where it gets really strange. Suddenly, after he has looked into this Illuminati eye for the millionth time, this guy disappears. I'm not kidding. He doesn't get cut in half. He disappears from the scene, never to be found again. That's really weird, guys. Like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, what? Seriously? Like the Illuminati took him away. They took him away so that he couldn't get cut in half. I don't understand that. It's really strange. It doesn't make any sense. It's just very weird. And so his whole motivation too, they're basically implying that these characters, you know, the guy who killed 13 women in the past and this guy, both of them, the reason why they are killers is because they were influenced by the Illuminati eye in the glass. The Illuminati eye was telling them what to do. And so the main bad guy, MacGyver, he was saying that the eye told him to do things, and he didn't really want to do them at first, but the eye told him to do them. And, you know, it's really weird. But I don't know. This movie, it's okay. It's just like, that was a good movie. You know, it just wasn't what I expected. You know, when you see that title, Through the Eyes of a Killer, you want to see the killer's perspective. You know, I thought that'd be very fun, very interesting, and very good change of pace to see a movie through the killer's perspective. But no, it is all about this very mediocre character who she just can't stop dating bad guys. And and also, did I mention that MacGyver kills the Fratelli brother off camera. So that's what kind of wrecks him being a red herring, that, he's dead, so, he literally can't be the killer. So that was very predictable. So anyways, I'm going to give this movie a food rating, in the style of Safi. In the vein of Safi, I should say. Of Safi saying, giving reviews of things that she's just eaten like 30 minutes ago and being like, oh, that's coincidentally a very good food review. Last night, I tried out a new recipe. I tried out Cola burgers. They are burgers that, they have saltines, they have French salad dressing, they have cola, and some other stuff. You mix it together with the meat, and then you also baste the burgers with the sauce, which is cola and French salad dressing. And I did not put enough salt in these burgers because I thought that the saltine crackers would have a lot of salt that they would naturally add to the burgers, because I had to physically crumble up all these 15 crackers, and that was a pain too. But it was really fun cooking them and everything, and then when I ate them, I was like, they're just okay. To me, they really just tasted a lot like saltine crackers. I got a strong saltine flavor without as much of the salt. And so I was really missing salt, and I felt like this movie is very similar to just these cola burgers, which I just thought were okay. Safi really liked them, though. She usually doesn't even eat burgers all that much. She doesn't even like burgers, but she ate her entire burger, so she loved it. She thought they were really, really good, but I just thought they were okay. Just like this movie. I don't think that I'm going to be watching MacGyver anytime soon. And I was also surprised to see that this is one of the few movies that he has done. Apparently, he has not done any very, very many types of movies. He's just done mostly TV, Stargate, and then MacGyver, of course. So anyways, please like this video and comment and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more unplanned movie reviews like this. And yeah, goodbye everybody. See you soon.